I had no idea what I was doing when I got my calling. I told God, as like, listen, God, whatever you want me to do, that's what I'm gonna do. And I was always worried, like both my parents being pastors, maybe that's why I wanted to go into ministry. Maybe I wasn't following God's calling. I worked at a camp as a counselor and realized that one of my real skills is worship ministry. I was the worship leader at the camp that summer. We roughed it out there, and it was just an awesome experience. And even during the COVID season, we'd have, you know, 10 or 15 kids a week, which is so small, but just to be able to have a few kids to just love and pour into, um, and even just developing my own, again, just developing my ministry there with those kids and seeing what I wanted in life for myself and what road that God, I felt God was leading me. And as I'm getting this call, I I get an actual phone call from an old friend of mine, and I was really encouraged when he called me and asked me if I'd go and be his worship pastor. And so I got there, and I had all these ideas and all these things, and he just wanted to go with the flow. Um, and initially, it really it hurt my feelings. Like, I just felt like, oh gosh, he doesn't like anything I have. But it was just a very, for anyone else, it would have been just such a discouraging year, because I had so many ideas, and it was during COVID, so none of them went through. None of the events I wanted, nothing. Just it was just bam, bam, bam. Like, no, we can't do that. No, that can't happen. And on top of that, I'm trying to build a youth group in the middle of COVID season, and I'd get kids coming, and then all of a sudden we'd have to cancel youth group one night or cancel an event, and then they're just all gone. And I was waiting for the next time to try to get them all back. And and then after, during that as well, um, there was nobody my age there, and so I felt so alone. And there were nights when I went home and I cried, and there were nights when I went home and I was mad. And I questioned God, like, why would you send me here? Why would you do this? Through every single one of those trials, through every single one of those moments where I was just so just unhappy or so just like uncomfortable with where I was. There are 10 times as many moments where I was just so happy to be in ministry, where I was just so happy with what I was doing. And I understood that it really was my calling to be in ministry. But I also saw through that experience that I needed more knowledge about what I was doing. I needed to know what words to say. I was missing an aspect to uh, that pastoral role that other pastors have who have that, have gone and got the education that I didn't have at that time. For me to continue my ministry, that I needed education, I needed guidance on where I needed to go. So the next step was to find a place that could do that for me. And so I started looking, and I knew I had something with music. I know I love music, and it's my, music is my life. Uh, just me, music, and God. So um, I needed to find something that could suit that. And so I started looking for music programs, found this place on Google, and so I just clicked on it and I started looking at it, and I was like, oh wow, like this is like a really cool place. And I got in contact with Dr. Workema. You just you could see like God's presence just like coming out of him. He's such a good man. He's such a and just admirable person to talk to, and just you just find yourself being like, man, like I feel so blessed just being here talking to you because I can feel God's presence on you. And I noticed when I came and did other visits here, I noticed that from so many people. It's a small college, but they put so much time into the students, and I realized, and I prayed about it, and I weighed my options, and there was no other place that I could have gone and would have been as happy as I am here. My name is Cody Daniels, and I am found in Christ.